All right, guys. Hey, we're back. Welcome back to Jason Unleashed. As I said, I'm your host, Jason Carter. And again, on today's show, really cool guest, Gregory Zarian. I've been a fan of this guy for forever. Him and his brother Lawrence are incredible, but Greg has been killing the game in the business for a while now. From primetime to daytime television, this guy's an actor, model, activist, and television show host. And today he's going to be on the show talking about two of his upcoming projects. One, which is Westworld on HBO, and then also the digital drama Venice, which has earned him a pre-nomination for a daytime Emmy. So he should be chiming in just a few. You guys head on over to my YouTube channel. If you missed any of the interviews with the people on Jason Unleashed, they're all going to be there as well. And if you're watching here on Instagram Live and on IG, I thank you so much. I truly appreciate all the views I get. So Greg should be sending me a request. You know how this IG Live thing goes. You gotta wait, you gotta send a request, you gotta have a request. You know, it's the most, but it's all good. All right, guys, we got Greg in the chat. Give me a second. We'll get Greg. Boom, doom, 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 doom. And connecting Greg Zarian.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see you.
It's so funny. We're in shutdown, and I'm still late. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. Hey, technology. Look, I'm late getting out of bed during the day to go to the kitchen. So I feel you, man. How are you doing in quarantine? How's this new normal working out for you?
You know, I'm actually okay. Yeah, I am. Here's what I'll say is I don't watch the news 24/7. I don't live on social media in regards to the chaos, because we all know what's going on, and I don't only talk about COVID or Corona. I live my life talking about things that were going on before. I live in positivity now, and I know that we are going to come out of this huge reboot in such a better way. So I'm actually okay. How are you?
I love that. I'm Greg. I'm great, and I just love your energy and your authenticity and your positivity. I stalk your Instagram. I watch all the Greg Zarian videos, interviews. You have been such a light for so many people for so many years, and your career, Greg, has been just fascinating. All that you've done from, like I said, you've gone from daytime to prime time, and you're killing the game. One of the hardest working dudes in Hollywood, and it doesn't stop. Daytime royalty you are. Starting on Days of Our Lives.
Wow. Thank you for that. I'm a humble daytime royal.
Yeah.
Can I say, it's great, as I was just talking to Crystal Chappelle, creator of Venice the series. And she for me, she's daytime royalty.
Yes.
But we were talking about just how hard daytime is and how hard a series is, and a daytime series. And even when people think of web series, they're like, oh, it's easy. It's not, because here's why it's not. My job as an actor is to tell you a story. So for me to think that daytime is different than prime time, it's not. We are all telling a story that we want you to get invested in.
Right.
So I'm a storyteller, and people hire me to tell their stories, and super grateful. So thank you.
That's great. So you brought up Venice the series. Crystal Chappelle, who is again daytime royalty in herself. We love her. Guiding light. I mean, I'm a huge.
What life to live? Guiding light. Life to live. All of them.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of daytime soaps. Me and my family were days, and I'm a twin as well. And my twin was more General Hospital. All my children. I was an NBC guy, but Venice the series, 2009. You guys, 6 seasons of this. You come on the show in season 5 as Nick Pfander, detective, right? Then you pivot to season 6 and you come back as his twin brother, Nate Pfander, which, by the way, fantastic performances, earned you a pre-nomination for a daytime Emmy, outstanding supporting actor in a drama series. Congratulations! It's incredible.
Yeah. And again, thank you, Crystal Chappelle. I'm trying to make sure that we look good together. Okay, great.
But the show
all work out.
It did. And Greg, this show is wonderful because here we have at the core of the show, we have an LGBTQ plus couple, right? But the show is not just about that. It's about how people move through the world. And, this is normal to have these types of relationships, these types of people, these types of different walks of life. And then enter you telling this amazing story and playing a twin. Is it like art imitating life a little bit?
You know, hold on. Please hold. Speaking of, there's Lawrence. It is, you know what it is, art imitating life. And, you know, I just want to say this is what I love about Crystal's storytelling in regards to Venice, the series. It's just a love story. You know, there's always so much pressure on, well, it's a gay love story and there's lesbians and this. It's just a love story. And it is the ins and outs of life as we meet the one that we love and just everything that happens. And yes, and I get to play the twin to the character I played. So it was super fun. Crystal asked, we talked a little bit earlier about what it was like for me to create the character. And I went, and I remember I called my acting coach and I said, hey, I'm playing a twin. Well, I am a twin. So I don't need your help. Like I'm good. Like I got this. And we are so identical and we're then so different. And so on this time around, I sprinkled bits of both of us in it. And it was, it's all I know. So I am fortunate to have been given a storyline that is a twin, but also addresses such a larger conversation about bullying.
Right, which we're gonna get to. Lawrence actually just said hi. Lawrence just is in the chat. He says hey, but I mean,
I love you, Lawrence.
He says I can hear you.
Oh, there you are.
I love it.
Hi, kiddo. Love you.
But you're right, Gregory. You hit on something that I think people are just now starting to get right, but forward thinkers like Crystal and even Shonda Rhimes 15 years ago with stories on Grey's Anatomy about these are not other stories. These are not other experiences of people. This is just everyday life, and that's how we need to view these types of relationships and these types of stories as well. But you bring up one of the most, I would think, compelling conversations as of late, especially for millennials and Gen Z, and that is bullying. And again, going back to Art Imitating Life, in the scene that you are nominated for, one, very moving, well done, you touch on something that is very personal to you, and that is bullying and how that affected your life. Tell us about that, because I think you bringing that into the character as such nuance to your character of Nate.
You know, the character on season 6 is my twin and I, Nick and Nate are bullied as kids. And my boss on the series, she bullies me. And she is aggressive and over assertive and makes fun of me. And what I really love about the storytelling that Crystal brought to this season was my character is the one that brings the bully through. I believe that we all are bullied in some way. I believe some worse than another. I believe that we are all just fighting to be seen. The beautiful part is we find a happy ending in this, but especially now with where we are in the world, in this global shutdown, there is so much more bullying going on, and people have said to me, well, you know, if you're at stay at home, how are you being bullied? It's cyberbullying.
Right.
It is a global pandemic that people get bullied online all the time. Right before we started our visit, just cyberbullying and phone calls to the Trevor Project, Trevor Live, have over doubled in regards to people reaching out, wanting to talk to someone because they are being abused online by somebody that is just trying to be cool and have them feel like they're something, feel like they're more important, they are special. And it's just, it's another pandemic that we should be addressing now, especially to our parents, to our friends, to our partners, to our families, because it just doesn't happen to kids. It happens to everybody and anybody.
Right.
So what do we do about it? And it's reach out to companies like Trevor Project, you know, Trevor Live, stopbullying.gov, Free to Love. Talk to your friends, your parents, and say, hey, this is what's happening. I need some help. So then that person that is being bullied for something other than just being who they are can then take their experience and pass it on, because in this big reboot, all we should be doing is loving one another, taking care of each other, being there for each other. So I'm grateful to be part of storytelling that is then transcended into a global conversation.
I think that's a beautiful thing as well, Greg, because I mean you're using your platform and in its capacity to do good work. You know, we see people like Rihanna and pop stars and athletes that are giving millions and are being very vocal about initiatives that are passionate to them. And it doesn't have to be on set. And you know, you can make a difference. You can enact change in the smallest ways. It doesn't have to be on a global scale or on a large scale, but just by, as you said, having those conversations. And I'm so glad that you brought up adults as well, because when we think of bullying, we go back to stories of our youth, right? Of when times in our teens or in high school, middle school, especially being LGBTQ+. I mean, Greg, me and you have a lot of similarities. Twins, I was bullied as well. So I connect to your story so intrinsically. And I think adults, especially in this business of entertainment, there is a lot of bullying in the sense of you're not good enough, rejection, maybe a myriad of things that are indirect that you don't really take in as bullying because you're not aware, but it is a form of bullying. So for adults to be aware,
Absolutely.
right? And for adults to be aware and say, okay, listen, this is what's going on. Let's have the conversation amongst grown people, as well as send that message down to the younger generations, is so imperative and it's so essential. I'm glad you're doing that good work.
Thank you. And I just want to say one thing. You know, Lawrence and I are blessed with, we have an awesome older brother. His name's Vincent. And, you know, we're the twins to an older brother, which it's a whole different segment, but, you know, because it's about the twins. But our older brother, Vincent, is awesome. And he has two beautiful boys, Alexander and Christian, and they are Lawrence's in my heart.
Yeah.
But we tell them that when they go to school, and we invite them, we don't tell them, we invite them that when they start a new school year or when they're playing a sport, to go up to that person that may be sitting on their own, that may not have a group of friends, and just say hi. There was a situation with my youngest nephew, Christian, and some stuff happened, and it was with another student. They are now the best of friends because they worked it out.
Right.
And I think we're given a great moment. It could be an international stage, it can be a local stage, it can be with your neighbor,
right,
about how you want to be treated, how to show kindness, and how to just treat someone the way you want to be treated. At the end of the day, we just want someone to be nice to us. So how do you get that? Be nice to someone else.
Right. And I think that leans on communication. I think people that, much like racism and bigotry, xenophobia, things of that nature, Greg, people, they're afraid of what they don't know. And a lot of that comes from the lack of, as you said, communication and conversation with people who who are of certain experiences, right? I mean, Greg, how many times in your life or maybe have you ever had someone who is not LGBTQ plus cisgender say, oh my gosh, you're the first gay person I've met, and you totally changed my mind about how gay people are, gay men are. That's been told to me so many times.
Well, people think that sexuality is it should never matter who you love. Who I love is between me, God, and the person I'm loving. So it saddens me that there's such a big conversation about who you love. You know, it saddens me that there's a big conversation about the color of our skin. Our parents were immigrants. My mom came from war-torn Berlin, and our father was from the Middle East. So when people say you have no idea what it's like, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I come from parents that came to this country to survive, and they had to survive just because they were different. You know, there are stigmas, I believe, that are created because somebody says it so.
Yeah. Right.
Saying, hey, listen, I think you're awesome.
Yeah.
And it's in the inquiry. You know, I don't know what it's like to be you. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Going back to when someone says, what's it like being a twin?
Right.
Well, let me tell you, it's all I know, but let me tell you what it's like to be a twin.
Right.
You know, in a weird way, Lawrence and I are minorities because there's two of us. We are treated differently because we are identical. If you break it down in SAG, we are considered a novelty act.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Do you know how much money Lawrence and I could have made for being checked off as a novelty act?
Wow.
Or we get more money for that.
Right. Well, I will say this. Greg,
Yes.
you and Lawrence are some of the best looking men in Hollywood. And I have seen you guys on red carpets. It's criminal.
Thank you.
Stop it. Stop it. I mean, how?
Oh, and he's my best friend.
I know, and that's we know, and it's so cute because I mean I've seen so many pictures, I've read so many articles where there's not an article I have read about you, Greg, where you haven't referenced Lawrence in a loving way, and I love that. I mean, again, I'm a fraternal twin, so
Okay.
I know the bond with identical twins is something of another world, but I think when you're a twin, you share just growing up together so closely. And as you said, your mom used to dress you guys together, and you went. I mean, you shared so much. You can't help but be that close. And you guys are also both brutally talented. So congratulations on winning the game in life.
And wow, thank you. And there's two of us.
I know. That's great.
You know what? Here's what I want to say about Lawrence is being Lawrence's twin is we are very much like this.
Yeah.
And we also have independent lives, which for me means that when we come back together, it's just for me, it just means so much more. Like I was born with a best friend and he is my biggest champion. He's my biggest defender. And, like I'm in a relationship, so I can't hug my twin. I can't physically be tactile with him. So my partner and I, what we do is we invite Lawrence over. We're 6 feet, 7 feet away, but we still invite him into what that is. If you're not a twin, you don't get it. And
Right.
the only thing I invite anybody that's not a twin that has other siblings is siblings. They love you so much. Like when we talk about our older brother, like we love Vincent so much. He's not a twin. He's not my twin. He's not Lawrence. So grateful to have him as the older brother to who we are. It's the best ticket in town. It is.
I love that family bond. There's nothing like it. It's so undeniable. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at you, Greg. One, you're so humble. Your philanthropic endeavors are incredible. You're talented. You have Venice, the series, playing a twin, killing the game, Emmy nominated. Then you move on to, and something that's even more of a phenomenon, Westworld. I mean, what? Reed Phillips, Westworld, HBO, huge production. Let's talk about that. Tessa Thompson, Vincent Cassell. I mean, you're there on something that, as I said, is a global phenomenon. People are obsessed. Great writing, great story. That experience, boom, everything you dreamed of?
Above and beyond. And here's why that was such a special job is, back to Lawrence and I really quickly, is we were on the critically acclaimed 100 every year on Rotten Tomatoes counterpart. Mm-hmm. It was written by the uber talented Justin Marks, and we were in episode season 2 called Twin Cities. And the beautiful part of this series was I shot at LA Studios, and on the same stage was the same stage I shot Westworld. So I got to shoot 2 amazing shows on the same stage within 2 years. So for me, I felt like I was going home to then show up on set, get the job, and have Tessa Thompson look at me, catch me staring at her, and she goes, "You're staring at me," and I'm like, "You're Tessa Thompson. Oh my God, and I get to work with you." There's no words. As an actor, you dream of jobs like this. And then Jonathan Nolan was so happy with all that I had done, he brought me back.
I know.
To have them bring you back and really love what you did and be grateful for the part of the storytelling that I was part of, super grateful. And it's Disneyland. And you know what? It's just as amazing as being as part of Venice. I get to be part of great storytelling, and people trust me to tell their story. So I'm extremely grateful. And we also found out today that it comes back for a season 4. So I'm really hopeful. Who knows?
It's going to work out for you. But I'm sure, Greg, these people have probably been fans of yours. I mean, come on, Criminal Minds, Castle, Bones. I mean, you, as I said, for years have had this amazing career from daytime to primetime on some of the biggest shows. And I understand. Like, if I was in a room, I don't know, with Oprah, I probably, I would be like, oh my God, I'm starting Oprah. But it's interesting when you have these people who you look up to also admire you as well. That says something about your breadth of work and what you bring to the table. You know?
Thank you. And they're real people. You know, Vincent Cassell, who I got to work with, he is such a kind man. You know, Tessa, such a, I mean, like, they're really cool people. And then you get to act with them. And it, I'm super, super lucky and super, super grateful. And I've worked with some of the best of the best. And I don't take any of this for granted. I really, 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 really don't. I'm super lucky. And for everybody that gets to do what I do, we're lucky. We're super lucky. And yeah, I get tongue tied and I get speechless because, you know, you go to an audition and you have no idea what's going to take you from here to there. And it's Westworld. And my one Westworld shout out is the original movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
Peter Martin was played by Richard Benjamin, and he's married to Paula Prentice. I'm so sorry about that.
It's all good.
We have in the past year become friends with Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice. So I have talked to Richard about making the original movie from the 70s and ask him what it was like. And his words are like, I had no idea that it would be the huge cult phenomenon. And the beautiful part of this version of Westworld is they show the gunslinger, they show the Yul Brynner character in season 1 of this amazing movie on this series. So it's an homage to the genius of Michael Crichton. So it's pretty fantastic.
I just started watching. Actually, as a matter of fact, I just started watching the first season a couple nights ago with my husband, and he's all about it. He's obsessed. I fall asleep this late at night. And I go to bed like at 7 p.m.
Wake up.
I know, but Greg, I have to binge watch the first 2 seasons to get to your season. I cannot skip ahead, man. I cannot.
I get it.
I cannot. However, I have been watching Venice, and one of the things I love about Venice, as you said earlier, is the storytelling. But Venice has made history being I think the first series of its kind to actually win a daytime Emmy. Yes, and then you have.
It's record breaking. It's won two Emmys. It was before its time. Crystal truly is, her and her team they're trailblazers because she was on One Life to Live Guiding Light. She was part of this really beautiful, one of the first nationally known lesbian love stories.
Yeah. Olivia Natalia, yes?
She brought it from primetime TV, daytime primetime, to the internet. And now the internet is the place that people go to. Now we have more time, of course, because we're all home, but people want to escape during the day, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. They catch up with their favorite characters during the day on the internet. So she's, I believe she's a trailblazer, and she started storytelling on the internet 10 years ago. And to have it come so far that now everybody wants to end up on the internet with web series. Back to the prenom, there were 70 submissions in just my category for Best Supporting Actor on a Digital Drama, which was knocked down to 10. So thank you, everyone that judged on that. But it's a platform, and everyone is now landing online. So I'm proud to work with somebody that was so innovative 10 years ago. And she still likes me. And she's back.
We're manifesting that win. This is my manifestation dance, Greg. But I mean, yes, Crystal is. It's been on since 2009. Absolutely ahead of its time. But also just the nostalgia factor alone with the cast. I mean, Nadia can't see her last name right now. Sorry.
Nadia Bjorlin. Which
yes.
Is Nadia Bjorlin Turnbull. Hi, Grant. Love you, and she has beautiful children.
And we loved her as Chloe on Days, and you have Galen Gearing, Peter Reckel. It's incredible that you have these heavy hitters in the daytime.
Can I say something? Crystal also brought in some primetime stars. Dot Marie Jones was in the first couple seasons.
I know.
Played the fifth, and she's one of our very best friends. But Crystal brought in talented people, and what was genius, because on season 6, she brought One Life to Live and Guiding Light people back. She brought all those stars back. Tina Sloan, Kim Zimmer. You know,
Kim Zimmer.
I got to work with in my in the prenom scene. It's with Orla Cassidy, who is just like, I met her and I'm like, okay, I love you. We're gonna spend a week together, and I love you. And it was a treat for me to see the history. Jessica Lucia, um, to see the history with all these people and be invited into this sandbox of talented people that tell great story and have all this history. Like, I'm like, I could make money for this. Let me do something, because we have these fans from all over the world that love these characters. And then get me that just gets to come in for 2 seasons and then end the last season with soap opera royalty. It was, I don't take any of it for granted. I'm so lucky.
Greg, you're so humble, but I just have to say that also there are fans all over the world that love them some Greg Zarian. Trust. My DMs and my inbox this morning was like, "You have Greg Zarian on your show today?" I'm like, people are a little obsessed, buddy. So you're you're up there as well in good company. So Greg, we talked career, we talked the Emmy prenom again. Congratulations. You know, what does the future hold post COVID for Greg? Books, a memoir?
Sure. Books, a memoir. I'd love to end up on a great series. I actually, I've written a book of poetry, and Lawrence was great. He coined it Model Thoughts. So I'd love to get my book out there. I take photographs of flowers every Sunday in honor of our mom. So I dedicate it to all the amazing women in my life. So I'd love to turn that into a greeting card company, and engaged. So marriage, and I want to be a dad. So,
Awesome.
and you know, here's what I hope post all of this. We all just end up being a little bit more kind. We all love each other just a little bit harder. I've noticed that when I go hiking in my house, I don't have my phone. So people say hi more. People are looking at the trees and the flowers more. That's what I hope. And of course, I hope with an Emmy right here.
Well, we manifested that here on Jason Unleashed. That's happening.
Okay.
Shablam! Shablam! That's happening, Greg, for sure. We just shablam. Yes, yes. Boom, boom. Greg,
I have a question.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How were you doing during all of this?
You know what? Thank you for asking. I'm doing okay. You know, we were forced, not forced with force, but we were forced to surrender and accept what I keep saying is a new normal. And for me, it's been great because I've been able to, as you said, reconnect with things. I go on more walks now. I got a dog. Greg, I got a dog.
Oh.
Yeah, got a dog. Me and my husband, we have date night every night now, which was what got us watching Westworld, was because we would have dinner, cookies. We bake cookies every night, and martinis.
Where do you live?
I live in Calabasas.
Oh, I'm getting in my car. I love some cookies.
I mean, and I went on a mission, Greg, this Sunday to Target, face mask and all, and bought all the cookies they had pre-made because I just could not deal. But I'm staying busy, you know, like this show. This show is something that I just started, and I'm so thankful to you for being on the show because I've been a fan of you and your brothers. I mean, you guys are both amazing hosts, amazing lifestyle experts. I see you both on different outlets, especially your brother on Rachel Ray. So I was like, oh my gosh, great there. And you know, just honing my craft. There's this meme that's going around that says if you're not hustling, blah, 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 then you're not disciplined. I think that people need to do what's best for them in this time. If that means taking a step back from everything and just being and allowing yourself to heal and regroup and regenerate, do that. For me, though, I'm not the type of person that likes to sit around a lot. So I thought, why not just put my craft and connect with people and put my craft out there? So, and I'm anxious to see what's on the other side of this as well, because I want to get back to being busy and not rushing back to what was, because what was is no longer there.
It's
done. We have to forge a new path and a new direction with new foresight and new ideas and a new attitude about everything. Because if we're holding on to the past, how can we move forward? And that's something that I'm struggling with because we're creatures of habit. We want comfort. We want to know that I don't know, AMC is going to open and I can go to the movies on a Sunday. And right now, that's not what's happening. So I'm just taking it day by day, man. Just taking it day by day.
But can I tell you what I love though is that you said it. You're having date night with your partner. We are connecting in a very different way, which I love.
Yeah.
You know, I'm FaceTiming with more people. And people say, "Oh, I can't see you. I can't." I'm like, "Yes, you can." I go to my godson's house, and I sit 10 feet away, and we sit in the front yard, and we connect that way.
Right.
The only difference is that we're not hugging.
Right.
I know that, but it's the only difference. I'm meeting new people. One of the people that popped into this, his name's Terrence Terrell, and he actually won the Daytime Emmy last year, same category. But my friend Alex introduced us, and here's what I'm loving is I'm building a friendship with someone that I may have never spoken to in this shutdown, in this conversation, in this, wow, you tell great story. I'm like, I'm lucky I was part of the Family Business. They're in their season 2, and it's with a production company called Tridescent. I've been part of them for years. They are so lovely to me. One of the producers on it, her name is Dr. Lana, she gave me an amazing spiritual reading last week. Fantastic. But what I love about it is I'm learning about the people in my life and the things that they do in their life that I would have never known.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting to know about my older brother Vincent more. I'm getting to know about my identical twin more. Ask different questions.
Yeah.
We're doing it
Right.
differently because we're not running as fast.
Exactly.
Who do we want to be? Like, here's the thing. I believe that we were all in a major car accident. We all hit a wall. Okay, now what?
Right.
We're coming out of the rubble and we're looking at, okay, I got hit. Now what? Okay, what am I going to do? We are meant to stop right now. So back to thank you and please. Back to I love you more. I'm talking to my aunt more. There's things that I have done in the past 5 weeks that I'm a lot more courageous than I thought I was in regards to certain business things. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this beautiful stop, look, and listen. And who do I want to be? And who do I want to maybe inspire others to become or be? Or who can I learn, how can I learn from you and just all of it? So
Yeah.
it's pretty special.
Greg, therein, what you just said, just the summation of what you just said is a silver lining of this whole pandemic and what it, and you have to, it's reframing and choosing to look at things and from a different perspective, right? And you're so right about reconnecting with people, doing things, having conversations you wouldn't have had, also learning things about yourself, because with a lot of time to do nothing comes a lot of time to do nothing with yourself. And you know what happens when you're by yourself? You start to think and you start to, introspective people who are aware go within and start to think, okay, like what have I been avoiding? What has been bothering me? Why has this been a running theme in my life? I mean, that's been what's happening for me and on a lot of levels, professionally, personally, physically. And so it's again, but that's the silver lining, because as you said, when we reemerge from this, when we come out of hibernation with shaggy and no haircut for a month,
I look like Alcoa.
but
Jason?
see, you have great hair though. You can do that. You can do it. It still looks great, Greg.
Thank you, Jason. I'm sorry. But it's who do we want to be?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be with me. And for a long time I was. So this isn't that bad. And if we just shift, listen, I know it's hard for a lot of the people that are on their own. I get it. There's also couples that I talk to that they're ready to strangle each other. We all have to just take an extra breath and be like, I'm going to stop right now.
Yeah.
And just take a moment. It's kind of like I used to smoke and I haven't had a drink in almost 15 years. So you're kind of reaching for that thing. Well, if you have nothing to reach for, the only thing that's left is you and God. Then what?
Point blank, period. Absolutely. Absolutely. Greg.
Yes.
Venice, the series. Boom. They need to go watch it. Westworld.
Have to. Season 1 and 2 on YouTube. Season 3, 4, 5, 6 on Vimeo on demand. It is an easy watch. It is so binge worthy, and it's just about love. And so for everybody that misses their East Coast soap stars, fall in love with love again, and just spend some time with the people that you have grown up loving, and you'll see some GZ on there too.
I love it. And then we have Westworld, HBO, Reed Phillips. You are in a handful of episodes, yes?
I'm on episode 1 and episode 6.
Great. And then they can get involved and help in bullying by going to the Trevor Project and a myriad of different wonderful outlets online.
TrevorProject.org. Trevor Live 24/7. Somebody's always there. StopBullying.gov. And then also my friends that I've known since I was a kid. Free to Love. Free to Love is a great organization. And if anybody is watching that feels like they are being bullied and afraid, please reach out to me and I will guide you to the right place. Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is love and be loved, and never apologize for who you are. We are all special. Dang it.
Boom. And they said they could reach out to you, Greg. Where can they find you on social media?
Everything is at Gregory Zarian.
I love it. Greg, you have been a pleasure. Again, it's an honor to have talked to you today. Your hair still looks amazing.
But this is why this is so great, is we've known each other, but we've never spent time together. So promise me a hug when this is all over.
I'm cyber hugging you.
And thank you for inviting me. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Take care. You're going to win that Emmy, and Greg, we will see you and talk to you soon. Oh, and happy birthday to you and Lawrence in May.
It's coming up in May. Thank you. So bring me back when I have the Emmy. I can share with you how great it is.
I'll send you a cyber Starbucks gift card. How about that?
You know what? I would love that. And let me just say this to everybody that is feeling afraid and alone. Just realize you're not alone.
Yeah.
You are loved.
Awesome. Greg, be well. Talk to you soon, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.